What we're going to talk about today is using SafeAssign. And what SafeAssign is basically Blackboard's version of Turnitin. It is a plagiarism checker where students can submit an essay or a piece of writing, and Blackboard will run it through their database of submitted papers and check it for plagiarism. What the teacher and student will receive at the end is an originality report that tells what percentage of a match the essay was to materials that Blackboard is already comparing it to. When you pull up that originality report, it'll also let you see which sections it believes are matching other documents. And sometimes it'll just be a couple of words that are naturally strung together and you can easily tell that it's not really an issue. Other times you can see where precise phrases or sentences or even paragraphs have been listed. To create a safe assignment, our first step is to log into Blackboard with our regular teacher credentials. When you log in, you'll go to the class that you want to create the assignment for. I want to create it in my first period class. I'm going to go to my class content section, and I'm going to go to the assessments tab under class content and assignment. When you click on assignment, it brings up the assignment creation tool just like it does when you're making a regular assignment. We're going to call this compare and contrast essay. We can skip over the instructions. We'll give it a due date. After setting the due date, we'll give it a number of points possible. And where we turn SafeAssign on is on submission details. There are the options to set individual submission, group submission, portfolio submission. We're not going to worry about those. Number of attempts. I usually like to make multiple attempts and at least give a second try. That way, in case they upload the wrong file the first time, they're not coming in having to have me manually reset to re-upload. But that's a personal preference. So I want to make mine on 2 attempts. I'm going to score attempts using the last graded attempt. And plagiarism tools. This is where SafeAssign comes in. I'm going to check on check submissions for plagiarism using SafeAssign and allow students to view SafeAssign originality report for their attempts. That way they can see right off where they stand and whether they're going to have to defend their choice of things they use that's hitting off the originality report. And that's another area where maybe having 2 maximum attempts could help out. Maybe if they submit it once and realize, 95% of my paper hit on the originality report, that might be a reality check that they need to quickly do the work themselves and resubmit. But again, that's a teacher preference. So after checking submissions for plagiarism, allowing students to see the originality report, I'm going to go down and submit. And it's going to show up in whichever folder I put it. So in my class content folder, at the very bottom, we've got compare and contrast essay. From the teacher view, it looks like this. This is what it's going to look like for a student when they log on. They'll have the due date, the points possible, and a place to either write their submission or browse their computer to upload a submission. When they do that, they're going to have to agree to submit their paper and submit. And so to walk through what that's going to look like, we'll log out of Blackboard and log in on a student account. This student is enrolled in my class. So we'll go to Classes tab, pick the right class, go to Class Content where we created it, scroll to the bottom. And now the student will browse their computer to find where they saved their file. I picked a file called Lombardo Essay Template. It's just a basic template that I start off to show students how to format their essays. I'm going to agree to submit my paper to the Global Reference Database, and that's the database that Blackboard uses to double check for plagiarism against other sources. That includes some essays that have been submitted through SafeAssign before. It includes online resources and some subscription services that they subscribe to check for plagiarism. And the student's last step is to click on Submit. And it'll take it a minute, but what's going to pop up, they'll get a box that has SafeAssign and it says Report in Progress. After a minute, that report in progress will pop up with a percentage, and it'll say 5% overall match, or 9% overall match, or 50% overall match. This one, I've already tested submitting Lombardo essay template, so I'm expecting this originality report to have a high percentage of match because I've already submitted it to their service once. And I had to refresh it to get the originality report to show up, but it popped up with 100% highest match. Like I said, because I had already submitted that essay once before. But we can click on that, and it gives us the option to view the originality report. When the originality report comes up, it has highlighted the sections that matched another text. It does take some phrases and words that are pretty universal, like language arts, thesis statement, introduction, and isn't coming up with a match for those. A lot of single words by themselves it doesn't check because a single word by itself isn't necessarily plagiarism. But especially you see sentences and paragraphs, it hit all those as ones that I'd already submitted before. If you click on one of the sections that it has flagged as plagiarized, it will tell you what its source was. On this one, it says source, another student's paper. And it tells you the text that your student had and the text that was in another student's paper. And then it shows you a copy of the other student's paper so you can test it against that original document. And in a nutshell, that is SafeAssign and how it works.